Today's episode, I have Kate from the HR consultancy firm Elysian. She talks about the first 2.5 years of running the business.
There are days when I just sit and I go, God, I don't know why I'm doing this. I think people say it's a learning curve. There is no curve. It's a horizontal line. If you've got all your eggs in one basket, you're setting yourself up to fail.
And really what she's doing to prepare now, because she's about to go into her growth phase for the business. So really interesting chat that I have. This is the Eardley Bird Podcast with me, Oli Eardley, and as always, we're sponsored by And People. So Kate, we're recording this on a Monday morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. I had a lovely weekend. I've got coffee. I'm rehydrated. Life is good. And I get to see your lovely face for a podcast on a Monday.
Exactly. Great way to start the week, right?
It is. It's I'd be running policies otherwise constantly this morning. Obviously, April 1st, everything changed. So my life is just policy.
Yeah. So I've saved you from the policies for at least.
Thank you so much. Thank you for saving me from the mundanity that I have to do.
Yes. So I'm just going to dive straight in, and I really want to learn about your business and what you're doing. So tell me about Elysian. What's the business? How have you gone about it?
So I left corporate world and basically decided that it wasn't for me. There was a lot of regulation, and this would have been 8 years ago. There was still a dress code. You know, you can only have one earring. It was quite dystopian, and I think the view of HR is still a little bit dystopian. And I applied for a few jobs, and I just had a bit of a deep think while I was away. I left, did a solo trip, and wrote my business plan on a beach, as we talked about, and just came back and thought I either dive in, face the fear and just do it anyway, or I stay unhappy for the next 10 years in a corporate role, which just isn't for me at all. So I did a couple of days with another HR consultancy just to kind of feel my way a little bit. Income, obviously, get a little bit, and then I just went for it, to be honest. The saying is balls deep, and I did. I literally had no idea what I was doing, and just learned as I go. Asking questions is important. I think people sometimes forget that the power of the circle of the people you have around you. And I'd met so many people kind of on my career path before that I just soaked up all the knowledge. Soaked up. Don't get me wrong, I still make mistakes, weekly, because you just do. But I have not looked back. Back.
So
I think I might be unemployable now, to be honest. I just like having flexibility. Like, I don't think anyone honestly would employ me now because the ideas and how my brain works, I just don't think it's manageable.
Well, at least things are going well, and you've got your own business. So talk me through what specifically you do for clients, just to give us a bit more of a context around the business itself. So
my auto light went off. You might want to actually edit that. I just went dark. We are an HR and business consultancy, and it was really important for me to not just have it as HR, because my niche is strategy and profit and structure and how your business looks and functions. I spent so many time in so many industries, I just get it. Whereas I think a lot of what some HR consultancies offer, and it's not putting shade on anyone, but it's just purely the HR alone, which is really important to do. So I have consultants that purely do the HR, and I do a lot of SOS. So a company will come to me when they are at breaking point. And obviously that's a whole other conversation of why we're not proactively making sure that we're looking after our businesses. But we get a lot of variety of clients. We've got up to 100. Some people might be startups who haven't got an employee yet. And so we basically look after the whole life cycle. So how they hire, get them in, look after them, retain them. And then obviously you've got the exit side as well, settlement agreements. And for me, big projects is what I love to get stuck into. I want to brainstorm with a client. They're like, right, I want to get to X profit by X date. How do I get there with my humans? And that is where really my niche is, and where I really love to get stuck in. And then obviously the other bits that underpin it, the rest of the team would do. So yeah, it's pretty awesome being able to be trusted to go into different businesses and just go, you need to do X, Y, and Z and see the end result. That's kind of where you get the buzz.
Yeah. And the businesses that you work with, you mentioned about size doesn't really matter there, so that you work with smaller businesses up to larger ones, but is there any specific industries that you focus on, or is it really anyone and everyone?
So my personal background is accountancy and not-for-profit, particularly the care industry, and hospitality.
Okay.
Sarah, my consultant, so she's done IT, energy, education. We've both done, I look to the right because my brain board is on there with all my clients written down. Recruitment, we both smash out the park because we just understand how hardcore it is in recruitment and why you need the best people. And sometimes they do need last minute needs. They'll be like, this has happened, please help. But to be honest, I know anyone who will listen to this will go, you have to niche. So I will be looking at doing that a bit more, but I'm not going to turn people away who need help.
Sure.
No, it just seems nonsensical to do that. So I might get into a position where I split the business. The reason it's Elysian Services is so I could it can be a holder and I can have trading companies underneath.
Sure.
So we could then niche into industries. But any industry really, as long as you know it, you can put HR into it and evolve it and expand it. But there are certain industries that we prefer. We like people who are down to earth and can be a little bit fun and inappropriate at times, because we're dealing with human beings. Like, let's be real about it. They don't behave, and we are difficult to manage sometimes, and we are human. As I am. There are days when I just sit and I go, God, I don't know why I'm doing this. The phone's not stopping. Like, why am I doing this? But yeah, it's you need a wingwoman or wingwoman. You need someone on your side as a business owner, because I am one, and it is tough. And the economy, I've seen it's changed a lot. Last year, the landscape's changed a lot. It does take longer to kind of warm people up and get them to see that sometimes you have to spend money to make money. So yeah, it's definitely, I know we'll talk about strategy and stuff later on, but it has changed the way I'm approaching things within the business.
On that note then, so you've been running for 2.5 years now. So how has that gone, and what sort of changed in that time?
I think how my resilience levels, I think when I started, you take everything really personally, and actually a business, they're just making a business decision. It's nothing about you at all. People will go for cheaper, but then you get what you pay for. You might sign up for these consultancies that they sign you up for 5 years, but you don't get the same consultant, you don't get the personalised touch, and they don't really understand fully your business. What I like is I'll pick up the phone and I'll say, oh, how is so-and-so, have you had any issues? I remember didn't they have a baby and they're pregnant again? Is there anything we need to do about that? You actually understand the cases and the people, and I think that's appreciated, and people aren't just numbers. And I think having that approach, that personalised approach does help. I mean, we like to operate a lot with WhatsApp as well. We're not a fan of put something in the diary and then we'll speak to you in a week. You might suddenly need an ear. Business owners, it is stressful. I'm more than happy for someone to just send me a voice note and go, can you just let me know if what I've just advised is correct? And we're happy to just voice note back. You've got to be flexible. 2025, the landscape's changed. The economy doesn't help. People need quick fixes. Business doesn't stay still. So we do pride ourselves on how our response levels and how easily it is to get in touch with us, because I just think it's imperative. I don't want to be saying to someone, I'll speak to you in 2 weeks' time. That's not good enough. You need to be there.
No, I love that, because a lot of businesses, it's either, right, I'll email, if I need them, I'm going to have to email them. They might take 48 hours to come back to me. But when it comes to something like HR, or where there might be an issue that's happening right now that I need help with, I do like that you do that. That makes sense to me. So it's definitely something that I'm sure other businesses potentially listening. I mean, how do you manage that though? From a perspective of, all right, I've got a WhatsApp in. Is it like, how would you go about managing it, just to keep your own sanity?
Your own sanity. So boundaries are important.
Yeah.
I guess it varies with industries as well. So care industry tends to be 24/7. Hospitality is 7 days a week. So you have key consultants who are happy to almost be on call. So we divvy it up between the team to make sure that we always have somebody who might be on standby. I would always, my first question is it urgent to them or is it genuinely urgent? And we always go back kind of with 3 options, rag rated. So green, you could do this now, absolutely fine. Orange, obviously, and then red, this is quite serious, let's hop on a call. Because a lot of the time, if it's something, for example, that we've asked a business owner to do and they haven't done it in time, so then their panic has gone on to, we need help now.
Yeah.
We need to look at it. Why aren't you doing what we've asked you to do? Because we are the experts and we've asked you to do that within a certain amount of time. Is it a learning for us? Did we not explain well enough the first time? So you might need some more support, but you didn't want to ask. Yeah. Sometimes there's fear of looking silly. So we like to be really open and go, look, if there's anything that you don't understand, this is our bread and butter, but it's not yours. Let's go through it. Let's hop on a call, or let's, if you want to voice note because you're busy and on a train, absolutely fine. But I think it's key, particularly with employment law and Labour, God love them. I mean, the changes that are coming to play, some of them are really going to affect small businesses and they need to understand what's happening. Yeah. So I'm going to do some webinars and workshops, I think, because I've noticed a trend in the questions coming through. So I think it might just be easier to just get a load of on a call and just get them.
So we had a very an annoying tech issue there where it kind of cut out just as we're getting in the meat of managing clients, and you mentioned about webinars. So
we're getting to the nitty gritty and it new.
Yeah, we're getting right in the middle of it there. But you can't handle, if tech's gone down, then we can't do anything about that. So let's sort of carry on where we were. So you were talking about managing clients and sort of webinars. So I don't know if you want to just carry on from there.
Yes, it was just about, I guess, boundaries, and I keep seeing a lot of the same questions coming in at the moment about legal questions, particularly labour laws. So I think, there's a real opportunity for consultancies to help businesses and just put everyone onto some kind of workshop, or just anything to be able to share the knowledge, because I don't think they are benefiting, the government are not benefiting smaller businesses. Some of the changes coming in, alongside obviously national minimum wage, they're really intrinsic to businesses. And if you don't understand them, there are so many new laws and family leave policy and day one rights. It just means that there's an extra layer of caution, I think, that businesses need to take. As long as they follow a process, it's fine. But again, it's just, I think it's something to be really mindful of. It's hard enough for us to keep up with them. So a business owner who doesn't have that background, I just feel a bit lost, to be honest. So I think there's an opportunity for us to help businesses at the moment. I don't even think we should be doing chargeable stuff. I kind of work with authenticity and being honest. It doesn't always have to be about profit and income. We should just be helping businesses. It's what our job is. So I think there's a definite need for us to go through the changes, especially now as we're in April. I've just seen so many different queries come in WhatsApps as well. Like, what the heck do I do about this? Like, Kate, what does this mean? I'm like, don't you worry, I got you.
That's why you pay me. I'm here. So the plan is then for those common questions then, are you planning on doing webinars? Is that the way you're going to?
I think so, yeah. I might do a LinkedIn Live as well, because I just think there is so much to learn and so much knowledge to share. And if it can help one business, it's just so important. I think we tend to look at HR in a reactive way rather than proactive. So we get a lot of clients who aren't clients coming to us asking a question, then going, I had no idea I needed to do this in my business. And claims are rising. Employees aren't silly now. They'll call ACAS and they'll know their rights. They just know what they need to do. And claims have risen like exponentially. There was some data that came out actually a couple of months ago. I should have got the figures for you really, but hey. Claims are rising. People will go, they want their rights, they want to be heard, and they want money. If they can't find a job for 6 months, they will come for you. They will come for you.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the firm's growth then. So where obviously you started 2.5 years ago, completely fresh business. I presume you've never run a business before. Is this the first?
Never.
Right.
Never. I wish I
So,
had started earlier. I think now I look back, but actually my mindset may have not been in the right place. So
sure. So that's first time running a business, 2.5 years in. How's that the growth of the business looked?
odd and great and weird and I think people say it's a learning curve. There is no curve. It's a horizontal line, a thingy line. There is no curve whatsoever. It's madness. I think it was just me for a year under the stairs at home. Now I'm on my second office because I had to grow. I've had social media manager, 2 different consultants, then a PA. It's madness how things look. And then I've shrunk back down again, then I shrunk back up again. I think it really highlights you have to find the right people that fit your business. We won 2 awards in year 1, which I just didn't expect at all. I've spoken at a gala, I've been on podcasts, I've been on live radio. It's just insane. When I first started, I was so nervous to walk into a networking event. I go to lots in London. A couple of times I didn't go because I was so anxious. I got there, I was so anxious. And now I've been asked to speak at Accountex as well this year. Yeah. So it's madness. Yeah, it really is. It's mad. It's scary and exciting at the same time. Anyone that says that they've got it all down to a T, they are either super confident or they're lying.
Probably on the lying, isn't it, right?
Yes.
I think everyone's got a little bit of nervousness or anxiousness around things like talking at events or even...
Yeah. Oh, I have totally. But I just think it's such a great opportunity. I'm doing the whole say yes, worry later.
I like that.
We'll see where I get with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, yeah.
Well, Accountex has happened.
Yeah, I was going to say Accountex is a big step forward there in terms of the amount of people that you're going to be talking to. So how are you feeling about that?
It's not main stage, just to be clear. It's theatre 12. I don't know how big that is. However, it's still, for me, it's a huge thing. I'm excited at the moment, to be honest. I know my subject matter, so I just, as long as I stick to what I know, is absolutely fine. I mean, there'll obviously be jokes there because that is just who I am. It's not going to be that serious, but people will learn, and that's the whole point of CPD. And my background's accountancy, so it kind of just all fits. I feel like I'm naturally progressing into the accountancy side. So it feels like quite an organic move, which is nice. I haven't had to force myself and sit down and go, how do I niche? It just kind of, it's gravitating that way. I can just feel it for this year.
Yeah, I think the accountancy world is really, it's a really fun one actually, because I feel like it's a really good community of people. I think that it's everyone seems to be really laid back in accountancy as well. They're not like super serious all the time.
They're so different now to what they used to be. I love them. I have so many contacts, and obviously I've got quite a lot of accountancy clients as well. Their industry has changed a lot. The same, I think, with IT and HR. We seem to always be the last person. It's like, oh, we'll have to get an accountant, or we need to get HR, or we need to get IT. They should really be the first 3 industries that you look at when you start your business to really make sure you're covered in all aspects. But we seem to be the afterthoughts.
Yeah, but no, I think that is a good step. I'm talking at Accountex this year as well.
Are you?
Yes. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Are you nervous?
Yes, of course I am. Yeah.
Shall we have a download before? Where are you speaking?
I'm on the impact stage. I'm not sure whereabouts that is.
I don't know what that is either, but I'll make sure I'll come and see you. Maybe we could have a unnerving high five before each of us go on stage.
Sounds good to me. Which day is it? Day 1 you're doing?
I think I am day 1. Yeah. Are you day 1?
Perfect. Yeah, I'm day 1 because I'm going to Brussels the next day, so I'm not actually there for day 2, but I'll be there for day 1. So
I just get back from Barcelona and then I'm on a stage. So I think I've done it the wrong way around.
Yes. So you're going to relax to be then. Oh my God. But no, it'd be great. It'd be cool. I'll come and see you anyway, and we'll have a chat.
Awesome.
So the firms, it grew, it shrank, it grew again. But you're doing lots of things to things that are putting you outside your comfort zone. You're sort of getting yourself out there, which is great. What would you say?
You have no choice these days.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that it's almost part of running a business now in a way.
It is. You're right. It's 80% of it.
Yeah, it makes a big difference to be out there in front of people and obviously putting your brand out there. What would you say is the most impactful thing that you've done in terms of getting new clients?
I think, just as I've said, is just be fearless. Don't get me wrong, I do get anxiety and I am quite nervous about certain things, but I then look at, well, if I don't do it, I won't be seen, and if I won't be seen, no one knows about my business. If they don't know about my business, I don't have clients. So you kind of just have to, you have to really get out of your comfort zone. I think people often use referrals as a way to get only, and word of mouth to get their clients in. That's not a marketing strategy. If you've got all your eggs in one basket, you're setting yourself up to fail. So you need to be active. I go to networking events a lot. I make sure I run workshops online. When I first started, I got my first ever client, this was only 2.5 years ago, by doing an infographic run, and I literally I paid some friends' kids to just flyer for me, and that's how I mean, it worked fine back then, but that's how I won my first client. So it's madness. So from there to now, I need to be seen, so I need to be asked to be on podcasts. Referrals are great, but you have to do something different. And I'm actually starting a bit of a new strategy at the moment. I've got a business strategist, because I feel like the landscape's changing and I'm changing as a business owner. So I've got someone in to help me almost redefine what I'm doing with the business to then find different types of clients, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So that business strategy is therein just to almost add a bit of clarity around what you're doing and focus on different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not big on social media. I do try my hardest on LinkedIn. I am on it a lot. I don't use my Instagram anymore, and TikTok's just silly videos, but I think it just doesn't work necessarily. It's good to get seen, but it doesn't land you warm or hot leads, because actually people need to understand their problems, not what you do. So it's that different messaging around, we're a problem solving industry in HR, we're helping you solve problems, but the old school view is we're blockers, we won't let you do this, we won't let you do that. Being risk adverse is quite cool. We know where the risks lie, so actually we will push you out of your comfort zones as well as business owners. Don't keep somebody for 6 months in their probation. If you've monitored them enough, get rid of them in month 2. Why are you wasting your money for another 4 months? There are things you can do to be really proactive in your business, but I think the old dystopian view, and possibly some are, I mean, I had a horrendous HR manager once. She was just horrible. She didn't let me do anything, and I think we've ended up with quite a bad reputation that's quite hard to undo. I think we're gradually getting there in the industry, but it's hard. It's hardcore. If I could, I'd change the term HR, but unfortunately everyone knows what that means that you do. But it just sounds flat, doesn't it, HR?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's similar to accountancy, where accountancy sounds sort of flat, but the industry is definitely changing, where it's a lot more, definitely the people that are involved with it are a lot more fun and interesting people. So to the old firm, that I'm sure you're still interesting as well. But yeah, there's definitely seems to be a lot like that.
If people take offence, they haven't self-reflected enough. You do have partners that have been there for years, and sometimes they still block ideas of new people coming in. And as a business owner, you have to listen. Some of the best ideas came from my consultant, because she hasn't, she was employed before, but now she can see how much more we could do. You have to listen to your teams. They understand the business. They're literally on the shop floor, as it were. They see the clients face to face constantly. You have to listen. Getting feedback is imperative, but you have to have thick skin because it's about you. It's your business. You have to be able to be resilient, listen, and then action it.
Yeah, so I like the strategy of not all your eggs in one basket. So you're almost like diversifying the way you sort of market yourself. You mentioned a few things. You mentioned networking, you mentioned workshops, webinars, you mentioned podcasts, you're obviously speaking at Account-X and other events. Do you do anything else to market the business?
So client check-ins, I don't know if it's necessarily called marketing, but it's kind of the client check-ins are really sensible to do. So say X clients, some people who've got one-off projects or they've wanted something one-off, is recheck in with them, because actually them just seeing your email makes them go, oh yeah, actually I remember X, Y and Z asked if I knew anyone from HR the other day, and it can lead to further work. But also just be a good business person and don't do everything for money. Just ping out, if there's legislation that's changed, I just ping out an email and say, just as a reminder, they're not even my clients anymore, just as a reminder, make sure that your HR are doing X, Y and Z. A lot of people think they have to have HR internally and pay a big salary. I think when you hear the word consultant, you hear expensive, when actually you're saving on NI, holiday, you don't have to manage us. But make sure you're checking in, on what's happening. You don't have to have a certain amount of employees to have an HR consultant or internal HR. Just check in with a consultant or somebody you see. It's really, really important. So I have a list, obviously, of CRM and I try and do campaigns. So whenever something is coming up, I know legislation's changing, just ping out an email. I'm not a fan of constant email marketing and newsletters. I think people just delete them now. But if it's something that a business needs and it's going to protect them, it's up to them if they read it. But if you make it really clear in the subject that this is to help you, that's all you do, and that makes me feel good that I'm imparting help and knowledge as well. It's not just trying to sell. We're not sales and marketing.
I like that, because not everybody, when you think about marketing, thinks about their existing clients and how they keep that relationship both strong, but it also, like you kind of alluded to there, they'll know people, they'll have people that they can refer you to, and it's all staying front of mind. So email marketing, but in an internal and / external way, because even people that have left you,
absolutely,
there's some value there. Okay, no, that makes real sense to me. Is there anything else that you do, or is that would you say is the extent of it?
I think other than going really formal, which is obviously where I want to move to, I've just learned to pick those things up naturally. It's kind of just been an organic strategy. Now I want to make sure I'm hitting it hard. I have very ambitious goals, and I need to make sure that I'm going to complete those. I know what I want to earn a year, and I've got a 3-year goal. That's really important, and then tailor it around that. So packages, I think, is an important one for marketing and strategy. It's not how you're doing, it's actually what you're selling as well. Is be direct and be clear with what your messaging is, because otherwise it's great to have a campaign, but what is your audience? What is it? What is the problem you're solving? People don't care about you. They want to know how you're going to help them. And I think we get that wrong. We're not sales and marketing people, HR. We're awful at it. So I just go and I'm just authentic. I just go and speak to people. Why did you start your business? And what are the 3 hardest things you're struggling with at the moment? And that's basically it when I speak to people. It helps that I talk to anyone. I'm one client because I've dropped something on the train and I've picked it up for them, and then we've started talking. And from that, it's evolved into a business friendship. Everyone is an opportunity. So they might know someone who knows someone. Humans know a lot of people. You may as well just not even monetize on that. Just build your network by just talking to people.
Yeah. So
I find it interesting. I love human beings. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, at the end of the week, I'm exhausted and I don't want to see another human again. But by Monday, I'm good.
Yeah. Just your reset weekend. No, that makes perfect sense. So you mentioned there you've got ambitious goals. You're looking to grow. What does that look like? Where are you looking to take it?
it looks like a team, but it looks like somewhere where I can make sure I get my flexibility back, because I can't be winning the work, doing the work, trying to keep service level at an all-time high. I'm at a real pivotal point, I think, in the business, where I've got an opportunity here to get other people to help. So I can not it's hard. You need to be able to move away to get where you want to be, but you've got to trust that the people you've got there will be able to run the business for you. You know, I want to get my VW camper and be able to go away and still work. I need freedom. I'm a bit nomadic, so the life is not for me sitting in an office, but it'd be nice to have a director underneath me who can help run it, so I can have my freedom. And I've got dreams of driving across America coast to coast, so that is on my list of things to do in my massive Winnebago.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. So the goal then for you is more around the management structure and having a structure in place so that you can have a bit more freedom. Is that
absolutely? Okay. I need somebody who's completely the opposite of me with personality wise, because you do not need a neurodiverse person underneath you. I need somebody who's got the same really good skill set, but they have attention to detail and they're happy to make policies. That is not my strength, and I'm really honest about that. I need a yin to my yang, because there's no point hiring another me, because we'll just have ideas and post-its covered everywhere and nothing will get done.
No, I appreciate
I create a very right-brained.
Do you, in order for that to happen then, do you need more clients? Do you need is it just a matter of finding someone? How does that work for you?
Both. And this is where it's hard to grow. I think you need the clients, more clients, and you need to introduce someone at the same time. So your margins will be lower. You know, you need to expect that your profit will be lower in the year that you're growing, because you've got to spend to make. I will need to spend money on a consultant to free me up to win new clients. So you have to expect that you are going to have a lower year, but actually what you'll get the year after is like exponential growth. And this is what I'm looking at the moment with a strategist, is how we do that. It's weird. It's been really stressing me out, if I'm honest. So I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this? What do I do? Because I haven't done it before. So it is quite a scary place to be. But actually, I feel quite empowered that I'm making some real important decisions. I don't have a business partner either. It's just me. So there is a lot of responsibility. And so everything sits on my shoulders. And when you're single as well, that I'm breadwinner, it is just me at home. So you're like, right, so you're looking after all the home decisions, all the business decisions, and everything. And sometimes it does get a bit overwhelming. You do have to have a good circle that understand business. That is a definite. I know I'm kind of steering away from your question, but just thinking about it, it's really important to have a good circle.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you mentioned a consultant there. So do you mean having almost like a salesperson to supplement that growth, or do you mean just having someone to help you manage things?
Someone who will take the ER, so employee relations side, and they will make sure that the client service stays high. It's harder to get new clients than look after your existing. Looking after your existing is an easy win, and I think I don't know if it's since COVID, I found customer service has been horrendous. You're not looked after. You know, I've just left a phone company that begins with a V. There are other phone companies available. But because they just didn't look after me, they just kept giving deals to new customers. And I've been with them for nearly 12 years, I think, or 13 years. And I was really shocked at how little was done to almost thank me for my time that I've had with them. It's just not good enough. You have to look after your current clients. So, it's pretty shocking, I think, since COVID. I don't know what's happened, or whether we're all just still, or people are panicking and we're getting new clients in and remembering that, forgetting even that we have to look after our current ones, because they are stability and consistency. I don't know, it's odd. I don't know if you found that, but customer service sucks.
It is odd. I've always found the same thing as you with telecoms. Every single telecoms company, their ethos seems to be around getting new clients rather than keeping clients. I don't understand why they don't. They're always like, I'm going to almost like add 30% on your bill every year, and it's like, and I'm gonna have to call you up, say I'm gonna leave. It's like, what's the point? Why don't you just give me a good deal that's in line with everyone else, and I'll stay forever?
Absolutely that. It's mad. I just don't understand how a business owner has said yes to someone in marketing and sales, that's the way forward. Just can't understand it. Keep consistency and have, your almost like your retained customers. Then your business growth year on year with those, and then you just add to that. It just doesn't make sense to me. I do sometimes look at people and go, how have you had this business for so long?
I know, it's like, surely it must cost a lot more money for them to get new clients, right?
It's nonsensical. Like how are you doing this? Maybe they're not making profit and it's just or they are, but it's just a leisure business. If you're making enough money to do what you want to do and holidays and things, then sometimes that's enough for people, and that's okay. But some people want to sell. There's two different types of business owners, aren't there? Some want to then sell their businesses for a lot of money. So you've got two different types of business models, and you stretch and mould accordingly. I'm happy to be a leisure business as long as I can go off and sometimes have 2 months in the sun and travel around with my camper. I'm good.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. In terms of client growth, then, have you looked at other online marketing routes, things like Google, social medias? What's the?
I have had a lot of conversations with people who want to be a sales consultant and say they'll come in and bring lots of sales for you. I've had calls with companies who say they'll do the same, and the issue I found is they don't fully understand HR and what's needed. You can't be pushy, but also at the same time people need to understand how HR can help, because we are always an afterthought. It's oh my god, something's happened, does anyone know anyone in HR? We need to get, for me, I need a marketing plan that gets people thinking about that step before something happens, because once it's happened, and then you are in the SHIT. Then you need to be getting before it. You need to be ready for something to happen, and it can be an easy win. Like, have a handbook and your policies, and your manager is trained to look after humans, and you're 90% there. Honestly, that's all you need. But I have looked and talked to other people, but it's clear they didn't understand HR at all. I'll be honest, they were just salesy BS people who I have no time for. I looked at this guy's slides and I was like, sorry, this looks like you've just manufactured exactly the same as you've given to everybody else, and you don't actually understand intrinsically what. I mean, he spelt my business name wrong on slide 1 as well, so I was done.
He was already out.
I was like, I will nod and be polite and respectful, but respectfully, you've not done this for me. This is awful, and that's a strong no for me. Don't make an effort. If you don't make an effort, why would I use you? And again, it comes down to customer service, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the way I would suggest in terms of your, long-term growth plans online, just because that's my area of expertise. So
I know it is, and I will download your brain immediately.
So where I would say is you've got two sides to it. You've got social media for what you're saying there in terms of getting ahead of the time, just giving people, information and getting in front of the potential problem. And then you've got the Google side, which is more for people that already have a problem and are searching for what you do. So you kind of want to be visible on both, ideally, obviously budget permitting and sort of time permitting. But really, if you've got some really good content on social media that prompts people into the potential problems they could be run into, that's one side. And then really you can use things like your blogs within your website to also do that, and obviously get ahead of the curve. And when people are searching for things on Google, and then you can even skip a step and you can use things like advertising on Google to get people that are looking for a HR consultant.
Smart. Do you know what I did have on my list as a business owner? I have a list that's got carried forward 6 months, and then another 6 months, and another 6 months. I did look at thinking about doing blogs, but I just wondered how often or regularly people really read them, or is it more for SEO?
For me, it's more for SEO, but where you could use it to help other areas is if you're writing blogs consistently on your website, that's when you can share things like that through things like LinkedIn and whatnot, and it kind of gives us, casts a bit more of a wide net rather than just relying on people finding you through SEO. But I do think really if the plan is longer term growth, you should really, now you're approaching 3 years, be thinking about SEO and thinking about how that looks long term.
Yeah.
Ideally, because if you're looking at Google, for example, the easy option for you if you want growth now is advertise and look for getting clients. I know HR is a fairly good market for Google Ads just from experience and from having other people on there. But ideally, you don't want to be paying every time someone clicks, right, forever. So if you can look at both options and figure out how that looks long term, that's definitely worthwhile doing. But I also do agree with you. I think social media would be good for you as well if it's done properly. And I would probably say, for me, social media would make sense more from a personal branding perspective for what you do rather than a business approach, because I don't think
Sorry, I'm just going to ask before I forget, ADHD brain. I was like, quick, while you've got Oli, download his brain. LinkedIn versus Instagram. How do you find, does it depend on the industry? It's weird, I've got more clients from Instagram than I have LinkedIn, but then I haven't been using LinkedIn to its full capacity, and I'm aware of it. I've been surviving and trying to look at growth, because, the economy last year was tough, like it almost killed me. It's brilliant now, and don't get me wrong, I've won a lot of new clients already this year, but I do need to utilize both. What you think is better to spend the time on?
Oh, it's a very good question, because it does depend.
It's got to be about you as well, Oli. We need to highlight your skill set too.
So it does really depend on who you're trying to hit, is the honest answer, because the target audience is the main difference between the two. I would say if accountants were your goal, and accountancy is a really interesting one because it works both on Instagram and LinkedIn, especially the younger accountants and the newer the new school tend to be using Instagram a lot. But obviously LinkedIn is quite an easy platform for growth as well. So it's almost, ideally you want to be doing both. And you can almost, it's just the content strategy might be slightly different across the two, because obviously LinkedIn's a bit more serious, whereas Instagram's a bit more fun, right? So
I don't know, I'll be honest, I'm the same. My business is on authenticity. I'm the same on both. There's nothing I wouldn't do or say on either, because I just think then you're missing a trick to just be yourself. I think the whole thing about Elysian is that all of us are just really authentic. I don't mean there's swearing on one and swearing on off. It's not about that. It's just about being real about situations and helping people with the solutions. So I know everyone says it is a bit more serious, or you've got the lot that go, this isn't Facebook, but you're never going to get rid of the people that comment that. Like, change the record. But to be honest with you, I'm exactly the same on both. I will share knowledge, but I will keep it fun, and there will be times when I'm really honest. And I did a post recently. I just got so overwhelmed, my brain just shut down. So I just had so much on, but also I have so many ideas, and I get really frustrated with myself that I can't just get my ideas out quick enough. And my brain, I just broke. I malfunctioned. I literally malfunctioned.
Social media, especially personal branding, is an interesting one, because definitely I think the hardest part is almost training your brain to it's more around the structure of how you do things rather than what you post. I feel like a lot of the time, if you're thinking, all right, I've got to come up with a post today, it can almost take so much time and effort, because you're like, what do I want to post? It's almost like you get stuck in your own brain. At least I do when I don't plan ahead. So I think, posting across both makes sense. You can use the same information, the same approach across both, but I'd say really planning it out and having a proper strategy works a lot better than almost winging it. I've seen people succeed on both, but I think on the whole, I think it makes sense if you're going to look at social media, especially personal branding, really planning out how that looks over the next 6 to 12 months. Obviously, not saying we're going to post X on this day, because again, that's a bit unauthentic. But at least if you've got a general theme of what you're trying to achieve and the general idea of where you want to take the brand, that's when you'll start to see better results and quicker results.
Yeah, I'm down. As soon as I know my clients are looked after and client service is up here with a new consultant, I'm all over it. I actually quite enjoy it when it's something I can focus on. But when I'm having to do it because I have to do it, my brain goes,
Yeah.
done. But with a proper content strategy, you're right. You're right. I mean, you are right, 'cause it's what you do.
I think on the whole that overall strategy would work for you. I think personal branding, and then you can almost use other stuff like Google just to supplement what you're doing over here. It's almost like you use the social side as your proactive approach. So people, you're going out there looking for business essentially, not in a right, I'm just trying to sell to people, but it's like I'm putting myself out there. And then use Google on the flip side of where people are looking for what you do. So you're almost tidying up on that side. So it's like push and pull, basically. So yeah, I think
videos more. I have no fear when it comes to videos. I'm happy to do videos, and I do think I need to do. There's a lot more I could be doing. I was all over my social media in year 1, and then year 2 it just went. So I need to pick it back up again.
I think that's the hardest
Oli Eardley telling off.
Exactly. I think it's the hardest thing. Running a business is, managing the time and where you put it. So I completely get why, as some client work comes up over here, you're like, I'm going to let this side go down. It's very difficult to stay on top of, especially social media posting, because it's not
It is.
I post something, I'm going to get a client tomorrow, right? It's not as quickly as
consistency and subject matter.
Yeah. That's all it needs. It needs real structure and strategy behind it. But and time and effort. So it's not the easiest thing to manage.
All the things that I haven't had, but now I know.
So the goal then is growth then, right? So you want to build the business.
Yeah.
But it'd be very interesting to see how that pans out. You're looking at getting a director below you, the yin to your yang.
That's end goal. Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
The steps between that are really imperative.
Right.
And I've got to find the right person and people. And I have a track record of being useless I always think I get spidey senses of someone really good and then they're not, or vice versa. So I've got people around me who will be doing interview stages because I'm just not good at it, and that's okay. But I think because I'm invested and it's my business and it's my baby, I think I almost need someone to do 2 steps before and then it's me, because I'm so passionate and I'm also really stubborn and I will never let my business fail. So I think I need somebody else to help make the human decisions in between that time. So I have a team around me who are going to do interviews and sifting and stuff like that, because it just have a bad track record.
Well, at least you know.
I am well aware of my strengths and my pitfalls, well aware. I self-reflect constantly. You kind of have to evolve. And I know a lot of people don't, but I do journaling and stuff where I just know that I need to get better at something, possibly too hard on myself sometimes, but I think that is a business owner mindset. Yeah,
no, for sure. Where I'd like to finish is more around the things that are blocking you at the moment, things where you might have challenges or problems that you're working on. Where would you say is your biggest sort of problem area within the business, biggest challenge?
I would say obviously my marketing at the moment. I haven't focused enough on it because I wasn't able to. And I think strategy wise, I guess because I am in this, like my era, I'm calling it my growth era, and personally and professionally, this is my time. I just had a really good vibe about this year, and already it started off and it's banging, but my whole growth strategy is going to involve marketing and my comms, my business positioning, will be part of that, which obviously intrinsically links with my marketing and sales and what I'm doing. So I think they are my focuses, and they're things that I let slip last year. So I definitely need to make sure that I'm all over that. Package wise, we're good. My new website's out soon. I can't wait. We've rebranded a bit. It was cute, super cute for like year 2, but now we're further than that. I think it's changed a little bit where I want to go. So yeah, there's a whole, honestly, we've got pages of strategy to go through. I love it. So yeah.
Well, at least you know where you're going. It sounds like the next year should be an exciting one for you.
I literally can't wait. And it's my 40th in a couple of weeks. So like, what a year to just try and smash it. I know, Ollie. I only look 30. I know.
Yeah, of course. I was literally about to say that, and you caught it.
Thank you. So yeah, it's good.
Well, I think, that makes sense. I think the next step would be for us to have a chat in, let's say, a year's time, just to see how that growth has looked. And
I would love that.
And obviously, I'm going to see you at Accountex, so we'll both be very nervous and have a good conversation before.
We can just be nervy balls of emotion together.
Exactly. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Rescue Remedy is our best friend, I'm telling you now. A couple of drops of that under your tongue, we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone was watching this podcast, they love you and they're like, I really want to speak to Kate, how would they go about doing it?
They can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn. They can find Elysian on Instagram and LinkedIn. And we've got phone numbers and emails. Literally, you can just type it in. At the moment, I'm lucky. It does come up Elysian Services. It does come up with me and kind of the top 3 or 4, I think. I don't know how it works. This is why I talk to you. I don't know. How am I found? Don't know. They can just, literally just type in Elysian Services Ltd and find me. Us, I should say.
Thanks a lot for your time, Kate.
Thank you.